Yeah. Eagle Well Boxing. Y'all know what's up. We here. Yep. Yep, we up in here. Salute to Derek. What's up, man? Haven't seen you for a little while. Yeah. I messed around and I don't know what I did, man. Overworking myself like I always do, twisted my back, whatever. Yeah, I saw you. You seen it? It says grown folk. So it's grown folk today. No kid stuff. I don't know. You might not even get into boxing that much. I don't even know, man. There's a lot of, I've been noticing that. Um, you know what? I meet a lot of people, man. And a lot of times I just meet people because I'm in advertising sometimes. So I meet people from different countries and stuff. You know what I mean? And then so what ends up happening is we end up linking up on stuff like IG. Mostly like on IG. That's usually because I don't really do. I don't really link up with people on Facebook. It's kind of the communication on Facebook is really slow, and yes, you got Messenger, and I've been going through phones, so I really don't have Messenger like that. But to have IG, it kind of helps out because people start spreading a lot of the rumors and stuff like that. Because there was a big thing about the Iceland that Iceland was in horrible shape or whatever because of the volcanoes and stuff like that. I have a friend that lives there. I mean, somebody that I physically, I met him physically now, but now we usually communicate. I don't call; it's too expensive. but but we can do calls though. We can do like IG or something like that. Am I still here? Derek, put up a one if you can still hear me. I don't see my viewers went from three or four in the last few seconds down to zero. How y'all gonna just leave Eagle like that? What's wrong with y'all, man? Come on now. My thumbs up piece is gone. I know they there. I know I done fell behind, so I know it's there. But a lot of times it don't show. My boy Snuck. Okay, one. Yeah, my boy Snuck came in here the other day. I had a pretty good conversation with Snuck. He's funny, man. Yeah. So we gonna have to go back. I'm just noticing. So now we gonna have to go back. We gonna have to do some trivia and stuff because he thinks he's like a boxing aficionado and stuff. He knows everything. And yeah, we're not gonna get into depth about the uh, with the Mangia. Was it Mangia, right? Was that who that was fighting? Fake punches and stuff like that. But yeah, we kind of like we get into these type of subjects, and that's what I try to explain to everybody all the time. Anyway, it's just like we getting set up. Even like even when it comes to I don't trust none of them. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to that people talk about the Spence. They just bring up how all Bud dominated Spence and stuff like that. I heard all. It's just too many rumors. I just don't like to cover all of them. Like Spence went in with broken ribs, and I seen in his face he wasn't gonna win. Before the fight, he looked at odd, um, and he got beat up pretty thoroughly. But that just shows one thing: he could take a beat. He could take a beating. You know, so he definitely took it. Yeah, yeah, he definitely took the beat down. So, but a lot of these things, I don't think the Haney fight that no that wasn't fixed. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I know as far as the world is concerned in boxing, everybody feels that Terrence Crawford is like the absolute best. Okay, but anyway, back off of boxing, back to what I was saying um, about just knowing people from other places. The thing about it is, it's good to know people from other places. It's just good. It's good for you to get to know people from other places. Don't just rely on the information that you get here, because I've been noticing that like a lot of the news that we get, man, is they be filling us full of stuff there. I don't watch. I'm not really a television watcher. If you ask me about any of the programs that they have, I would know minimum at best about any of them. Like those like what I used to watch. Like I think what was I used to watch was the the Wire. I think that was the last one that I actually watched for a series, and I wasn't really into it. I watched all of the one. I forgot the name of it already. The one about John Brown. I watched that one. Something. What is it called? Brett. What's that bird called, man? You from down that area, brother? What's that? What they call that woodpecker down there? The white and blue one. What they call him? Angel bird or prayer bird? No, I forget. I'm not about to go in there and answer no phone right now. Now, no, I know they don't want nothing. Prayer bird. I think that's what they call it, or something like that. But it's a blue and white. Actually, I think it's a giant. It's a woodpecker, but it's a giant woodpecker. But I watched that little series. I think it was only like six parts or something like that. I watched that one, and the only reason I watched that because I think it came on Showtime or something. So I watched that one. But I don't keep up with none of the people though. They get all excited about TV and all that. Oh, they watch dramas and series and all that, movies. I don't. I'm not even really into movies that much. I watched. Um, I didn't even watch the last Avatar that they had. I didn't even watch that. There's probably a couple of movies that I want to see, but I never just go out and see them. You know what I mean? I see advertising. Oh, that looks like a good movie, but I'm just not a. I'm not really a movie goer, and I ain't taking nobody to the movies and nothing like that. I'm gonna go by myself. I'm not taking nobody to the movies because then I gotta pretend like I care about how they feel and stuff like that. I gotta, yeah. They say it's long. Yeah, I gotta care about what they feel like and all that. Make sure they got everything. Then I'm gonna have to spend way too much money if I take you. I'm not cheap, but I'm gonna have to spend over $100 just so you could watch a movie with me. And you're probably gonna be saying stuff like, "Oh, can you get?" Oh man. And girls, I mean, I love you, girls, but I'm just like, I know what you're gonna do. I know. Oh, can you get me a little bit more of this and that? I'm like, I'm in the middle of the movie. I'm like, now I gotta miss 10 minutes of the movie because I gotta go back to the concessions and get you something else. Probably not popcorn because you probably got that big giant bucket, and I'm only gonna have a little bit now. I probably would back in the day, just to keep up with my money. I probably would, finish one and get that little dollar refill or whatever it is, a free refill before the movie come on. But now I'm not the same way now. I have a couple of handfuls or whatever because popcorn just messes me up, man. Popcorn it dries my mouth out, man. I gotta eat. Yeah, but anyway, I watched that one series. Yeah, but anyway, so a lot of people they were saying, oh, the volcano and all that stuff is fake and stuff like that. So I watched some of these. I watched some channels they're good channels, but a lot of time what happens is they're too young, and so they do have they have false information. They don't believe in, um, for instance, they don't believe in, um, things like it's in nature, like volcanoes and stuff like that. They don't believe in that. But they've been showing volcanoes ever since I was a little kid. So they can't be fake. All of them. Some of them might be. And they were saying like the footage over in Iceland was uh, fake. So my friend sent me some pictures, not knowing that I was even thinking about anything being fake. But she just sent me some pictures. I'm like, okay. But she said it wasn't. It's not that. It's not as bad. So in other words, it's not. It's not affecting them. It wasn't affecting her to the point like we think it's affecting them. It's not. It's not affecting them, all of them, like that. So, don't believe the hype and stuff like that, man. Same thing. And the reason I even said grown folks chat, because there's a lot of tragedies and stuff going on, and I'm not trying to get taken down. There's a $200 now there with drinks and food that they bring to you. Yeah, yeah. I'm used to going with family too, though, Dad. Because when I go, man, I usually, I'm telling you, man, we bring like we have a bag. We bring stuff in the purse. You know, we bring some of the stuff, like some of the snacks. You can't, evidently, you can't get all the snacks. The one thing you can't bring into the movie theater is you can't bring the popcorn. They already know that, and plus they have it popping right there. They used to. Some places they just have it there. You can't smell it. If you don't smell it, you're not gonna mess with it. You know. But if you smell it, then you got to have it. If you smell that popcorn, it's over with for you. Yeah. But Derek said two. God dang, Derek, two. Damn, for me, I'll spend 50 for me. Period. Because I ain't got no business wanting that. I'm not gonna eat hot dogs. I'm probably not gonna eat none of the candies because this shit is bioengineered now. Did you know your favorite candies growing up, Derek? All your Snickers and all that shit is bioengineered now. That's a damn shame that they're turning everybody into robots with this shit. Excuse my language. I gotta clean out my endocrine system because my eyes is itchy, my ears is itchy. I don't like to I don't like to do drops. I'll do drops in the eyes, but I don't like to do drops and stuff in the ear. I gotta get one of those little things where those little syringes where you just, flush that water in your ear. It feels good. That shit'll get addicting though. You start doing that all day, like, sure, that feels good. That warm water feels good in the ear. I used to think you could do it in the shower. Yeah, but you can't. But anyway, she sent me these pictures and stuff, and I seen like the orange and all that. So if it's fake, that means that they're putting that fake stuff out there for people to take pictures of. That's all I'm saying. If that's fake. Now, the main reason this grown folks let me go back to this just for a second anyway. So what do you think about that fight, Derek? Do you think did you read anything or hear anything about that, about the fight, the where the knockout punch was fake, didn't land? I mean, I looked at a replay. I looked at it and didn't look like it landed, but the first one landed a little bit. The first one landed a little bit, so maybe the first one was enough, and he was already about to go. It could be delayed reaction, but we don't know. But here's some tragic news, and this is for entertainment purposes or whatever, however you want to call it. Is you got to go back and look at that, brother. But anyway, so I got a friend. She's, I don't know how you say it. Is it Kenyan or Kenyan? I really don't know. I don't want to mess up people's, heritage and stuff just because of my ignorance. But she's from Kenya. I know that part is right. Or Kenya. So, and over in Africa. So she was talking to me the other day, and yeah, she was telling me. She said, "You make sure." She said, "You make sure that you tell the people that I think is the." So the Nigerians they're killing Kenyan women. They're killing the women. I'm like, these people are supposed to be so civilized, and a lot of people think that those are their relatives and ancestors of a lot of the so-called African Americans that live here. I'm like, well, they're not doing those type of things here. So I kind of doubt that your relatives, a lot of you people that think you're relatives to those people, I don't think y'all really relatives to them, because they're killing the Kenyan women, and they're cutting out their, their reproductive parts, is what she told me. And I don't think she has any reason to lie about any of those things. But then if you look around, so just look it up right now. Just Google or whatever. Do everybody still Google, or what you sitting here yawning? Or did Bing take over? Because I know it was called Bing, right? So Bing was supposed to be like the big thing that was coming up. But I know everybody still talking about Google. But I think you could do a Bing search. I never had success, to be honest. When I use a Bing search, I never had like success. But I'm saying just Google that and see if you can find anything with that. I don't think you're gonna find it. A lot of this stuff that they report to us in the news is watered down, sugar coated, and are not right. And what they don't understand is a lot of us is we have friends and stuff that's overseas. So we got like connections and stuff. So I got some Asian connections, right? A few places over in Asia. I used to have Vietnam. I used to have China. I don't have those anymore. Or what? South Korea. I had South Korea. I think China, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia. So now I still got Philippines. I got Indonesia. I got South Africa. I got Kenya. I don't think I might have lost touch with Morocco. I got Iceland. Of course, we got England and Germany. I don't have Russia. I got South America. I got Brazil. I got some South American countries. Mexico. Puerto Rico. What else? I need some more down in Central America. I need some more contacts down there. Probably Canada, Alaska. So, and I used to have Australia. I don't know. I lost contact with one. I had a couple down there. New Zealand, something like that. But see, the thing about it, if you don't find somebody where you can stay connected to, then all the information that you get is just going to be, it's going to be the information that everybody else got. You're going to have the same information that everybody else got. You know what I mean? And how reliable is that information? That's the point. Is how reliable is the information that you get? It's just like even with this fake punch or whatever. It's just like we've seen people that we would think took a dive. I mean, I just seen the replay of the Khan fight with Bud Crawford again, and the punch was definitely that he got hit with was definitely low. But it seemed like on the side, but it might have been inner leg. But you can still clip somebody and hurt them pretty bad if that foul-proof protector pinches or squeezes or something. It don't take much to take a man down when it comes to that area. It's not even the hard punches that do it. It's those little punches. That little punch is what does it. So I would take that a lot of times it seems like these fighters lose or whatever, and it seems like they're taken away from greatness and stuff like that. But I can't really subscribe to that all the time. I don't know. Everybody has their reasons and stuff like that. And some of the guys, they love their paydays. You can see how they be smiling, like, yeah, I'm gonna get back in there. I'm gonna get back in the ring. After a loss, they just happy and smiling, and they want to get back in there. They congratulating the fighter who beat them, but they just want to get back in there. It's like because that's what they do. That's their job. They're a prize fighter. Like, I don't care. I lose. I get knocked out. I'm right back in there. I don't care. Like, who's that? Chisora. Chisora is one of those types. Chisora is the type that, he go down. I'm right back in there. I'm back. All fighters can't take it though. Like, I don't know, Joyce. If we would see Joyce come back and be productive, uh, definitely needs a nice time layoff or whatever. Uh, Here's what these fighters don't understand, from what I see, is that a lot of times, even when you take that time off, it's not about taking that time off. It's about relaxing for a little while, but maintaining everything that you would do in boxing. Maybe light sparring. I would say fast paced, light sparring. Like no heavy body shots, no heavy shots to the head. Stuff like that. But fast paced. Keep yourself on track. And matter of fact, super fast pace, because I figure if you go super fast pace, what happens is that's going to help with your reflexes and stuff. Make sure that everything is still working. Make sure that neurologically things is working properly, and making sure that mentally everything is working properly. That you're making the right decision, and for a coach, whoever's training you, for them to be watching that and just, okay, you're getting hit with this, or you're getting hit with that. Are you okay with that? Are you seeing this and stuff like that? Because you got to be kind of a psychologist at the same time. Our store, we have a store, and I don't like to, we got 2 drugstores close to where I live. Yeah. And I don't really want to travel too far to go to places like that, because every once in a while you need, not necessarily drugs, but you need vitamins or supplements or something like that. There's one that I go to that they take stuff out of it all day long. That's all they do. They just rob the store like all day long. People just coming out of there with stuff. I'm like, oh man. And so I go in there sometime, and I go in there. I'm a snitch when I go in there. I don't tell them nobody, but I just look at them. I just follow them. I just look at them. I start loud talking like, man, I wish people would stop stealing up in here, man. We're going to end up losing our store. And it's not even a bad neighborhood, but the people come from other neighborhoods to come over here to make it seem like it's bad. Just like they have a burger place here called In-N-Out, and they have one in Oakland, and that's the only one. They only have one there. And most places, they have a bunch of them. Most big cities or whatever, they have, 2, 3, 4, whatever. But there they only got one, and they're about to lose it. They're going to lose it in March. By the time the end of March comes, which is coming up real quick, because we're in February, so you would more or less say that's next month. So next month, they're out of there because of crime and everything else. And I hear people complaining. This is the worst thing, Derek, when somebody, you're a grown-ass person. This is the worst thing to tell me, is that the crime is so high because there ain't no jobs. Okay, crime is high because there ain't no jobs. Then, if you can't get a job there, if you can't make your own way, you can't hustle and make your own way to make some money, then that sounds like to me that you need to get yourself up out of there. Anywhere you can't make money or you just can't live, you gotta get out somehow. It's easier said than done. No, it's easier done. It's easier done because sometimes you gotta start over. Think about this, man. Your city's starting over. Your city's starting over. So even if you got a stable job, guess what? You're starting over too. You are too. You're starting over. It ain't just the city starting over. You are. So we all starting over. You say, oh shit, my city's starting over. Okay, well, your city's starting over, brother. You starting over too. Don't act like you're not part of that, because you're going to start over one way or another. You're going to start over with that town or city, or whatever, you're going to start over with them, or you're going to start over without them. And without them, that means if you start over without them, that means that you're going out and doing something different. You're moving to a whole different place. And see, that's the whole thing. What's wrong with people not able to adapt? And if that stuff was down there, if that was true when they were showing all those floods down in San Diego, I don't want to talk bad about you people down there, but I kind of have to talk bad about you. Y'all didn't take none of the warnings? Y'all didn't like look at the rain and say, well, yeah, it's starting to rain a little bit too much. Y'all didn't hear water or see nothing to take your ass up to higher grounds. Because matter of fact, Derek, think about this, Derek. Because you've been in here, DB. You've been in here when last year. Last year when we was having all those floods. What was I constantly talking about? What was I constantly talking about in here? I said there's a spot. There's a spot where I know that we can end up getting flooded out. I said there's a spot where we can get flooded out. And so I told y'all, Gil, salute to Gil. I told y'all, I said, the hell yeah. I said I'm gonna take the truck up there and look to make sure that water that can actually hit me is just not gonna hit me. I told y'all. I said because I'm downhill from where the water source is. The water source is at a higher level than where I'm at. If the water source is at a higher level than you are, then you got to pay attention to that shit. Especially when it fills up into like a lake or something like that, and you're below that, and then it's starting to rain like crazy, and then you're not gonna pay no attention whatsoever. Like, no, it's okay, they got it. And you're looking at the government to have it. Oh, they got it. Don't worry about the road crews and all that. They got it. You stupid. So if you got your dumb ass flooded out, no matter, and this goes for anybody. That goes for the ones down there in Florida, wherever else. If you get your dumb ass flooded out and you just sit there, that's your fault. For not making grown up decisions and getting yourself up out of there. It's your responsibility to protect your family. The government, they not protecting you. Were you alive for Hurricane Katrina and all that? Was you alive or not? If you just knew, if you today's years old, then no. But if you're old enough, if you remember that, and I don't know if all of you are old enough to remember Hurricane Katrina. Well, I think you guys are, but some people just ain't. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, you got to recognize that they're not going to take care of you. They're going to tell you what's going on after the fact. Because like over here when we lost power, I heard 2 explosions which went into my mind. I knew what they were. They were transformers. It's like every time they would hook up a transformer, one would explode. I'm like, God dang. I said, all these transformers are exploding. So it must have been too much power going through the whole system. Because it takes a while for transformers to explode. And they usually take them down before they explode. They usually replace them. I've heard a lot in my life. I've heard a lot of transformers exploding. It's loud too. Boom. Those guys don't have like a high life expectancy. Those guys that work on that stuff, because anything can happen with them up in there. You know what I mean? So anything can happen. You see what Gail got up. What Gail got for us, Derek? All right. Oh yeah. He said Thurman he said to Zoo March 30th. Better not stream it, son. Yeah, we're watching Gil Coles at Derek Brady 100. He said something Eagles web. Derek Brady said no picture. He said the screen is black. Who, my screen? Let me go look and see what y'all see. No, it's up. You better check your system, Derek. We good over here, brother. Yeah, something wrong with your stuff, man. I start talking about bad signals and all that, and then your shit go out. I start talking about bad signals, and Derek shit crashed on him. So no, I can't see nothing. Got you. He said, okay, now I can see. Yeah. But I'm just telling you, man. If I said grown folk, man, y'all Make sure y'all make grown folk decisions. I trust y'all that's in here right now. I trust y'all that the ones I'm communicating with right now. I trust y'all that y'all gonna do stuff. I'm too paranoid when it comes to like natural disasters and stuff like that. Now, if I'm looking at the sky, just think about it. It's daytime. You know, over there where you guys at, it's about to get dark now. But think about it. It's daytime. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's daylight. So all of a sudden, it goes from daylight, and then you got, and listen to what I'm saying. You got a bunch of black clouds, not gray, not dark, but black clouds all of a sudden just roll in, and you hear a bunch of rumbling and stuff. So what do you think? Just because it was just hot or whatever, what do you think's gonna happen in your mind? If nobody's gonna tell you, do you think that you about to get a nice storm or something like that? Or are you just like, oh, it's just gonna pass? Are you gonna just see? People want you to be optimistic when you shouldn't be optimistic. When you should just be like just neutral. They want you to be optimistic. Oh, don't worry about the storm will pass. I can't stand people like that. And yes, they can see more than you can see. Oh, don't worry about it. It's gonna be light. Uh, this whole United States is one big desert. I don't care if they got mountains or whatever. It's a big old desert. It should be like a rainforest, but not in that sense of the form where we talk about rain. So, in in Florida and other places, they got what they call the humidity, something like that. We got heat indexes and humidity, but that is not the normal. That's not the real. That's not the real humidity. That's humidity and high pressures and stuff like that, but that's not the humidity we're supposed to have. Is supposed to change like throughout the day. So in the morning, like when you wake up, you should see not like fog. It shouldn't be fog, but it should be like the humidity should be nice and thick. Uh, and it should cover the leaves and stuff of like all the plants. So in other words, everything's watered, like especially so during the day. The humidity you should turn into like more of a protective type of a humidity until the sun sets, and then the humidity, and then of course everything should just dry off a little bit, and then we just repeat the process. That's like that's my understanding of what like a rainforest in the proper way that this earth should be. That we should have humidity. We should be able to see. If I'm noticing any city I go to or anywhere I go, I always look up because I love to look up because when I grew up, I actually had a yard to lay down in. A yard, an actual yard. People don't know what a yard is. I used to be able to go to the side of the house because our backyard was not. We didn't have our backyard. We didn't have a backyard. Our backyard was very small. We had a side yard. On one side, it was real small. It had trees on it, and it's real small. The other side was wide open with like a rose garden, all fruit trees, and all that type of stuff. And that's where I grew up. So we had a side yard. It was huge, like especially for you, a small kid. And I throw my blanket out there, and I just lay down out there. I'm talking about when I was real small, before you learn anything. Before before you hit the streets, and you think that shit is fun. I used to lay in my yard, man. That's it. Have me some lemonade or something like that out there, and I used to just lay there, look up at the sky, look at the clouds going by, look at the different shapes, and then at nighttime I would look up at the stars. I used to love to be outside and just look up at the stars, and you could see it. So my point was is that no matter what big city I go to, if I look up, I can't see stars. Oh, only just a couple. And it says because the light down here. But no, I grew up, we had a little bit of light. We had light. It's because there's something, and I hope they don't get mad at me, there's something that they do to the air now to make it to where we can't see off into the space like we want to. And I think the reason some of the reasoning might be is that if you can see what's up in the sky, then you can use your own discernment and start figuring things out a lot better. Because if you realize that when they talk about all these old inventors and scientists and artists and stuff like that, when they bring them up, they always talk about their observation of what they've seen. So that means any of you can be an astrologist or whatever if you're able to observe without the telescope. Because like they always blame that that's one of the biggest hoaxes that they use. Oh, they have X and they have this type of telescope where you can see deep into space. For what? You'll never go out there. You don't need to see deep in space. Because your perspective, in order to share with everybody else, was supposed to be a perspective that people could actually share. You don't understand what I mean. So your perspective of what they show should be the same perspective that you see. Now, if you don't have a high-powered telescope, you can't see what they observe, and so you got. But what you're gonna do is go by their word. Said, you got to bring your. For me, you got to bring the telescope over to my house, and then I got to be able to observe what you just observed. Because if not, it's for me, it's probably gonna be CGI or something else. Let's go by the things that we can observe because man always wants to use telescopes. So telescopes are fine for space. But if you use a telescope to tell somebody, hey, the Earth is supposed to go down, 1,200 feet at this one point, but I can see this point from over here. And then they're going to start telling you stuff like refraction, like they did when that guy went out to that little spot, that little island out in past Lake Michigan, and he could still see the Chicago skyline. And they said it was because of some type of refraction and all that. Stop feeding us all this different information. So if you're going to tell us that it's refraction, everything is just refraction, then you might as well take away from the whole globe or flat or whatever. Just say that you don't know the shape of the Earth. If it's shaped like a triangle or square, just say you don't know. So we don't have all these discussions where people saying, of course, the Earth is not like a pancake where you're going to just go flopping off. No. But of course, it's not round. I mean, people can't figure it out. That the Earth can't be flat and the Earth can't be like a ball. It can't be. Because your blood be rushing to your head on one end, and some people be walking sideways on the Earth, some people be walking on top of the Earth, and some people be walking under the Earth. That shit, that don't make no sense. So either one of those, flat and ball, don't make sense. Don't ask me what makes sense, because for me, when they say plains, for me that's what it is. It's just a bunch of different kind of plains. There's mountains and hills and flatlands and lands that go below sea level, lands that go above sea level. For me, that's what I see. That's what it is. But as far as just flat and round, I don't see either one of those. So either one of those don't fly with me, because I never observed any of it. Even when I go on the plane, I can see mountaintops. Sometimes I can't. When I get up too high, I'm above the clouds. I can't see shit. When I come back down, depends on where I'm landing. Because you realize when you land, like for instance, you land in Vegas, you're like 2,000 feet up. I have this app on my phone. I just put it on my phone, and it tells you how high you are. They call them altimeters, but I don't know what they call them on your phone. But I got this little app, and it tells you elevation at all times. So I said, if I fly, I'm gonna start using this thing so I can see exactly how where I'm landing. I can see how high I am. Oh, there's Snuck you right there. Hey, Snuck. I didn't say him. Okay. Gil Coza, Derek Bailey. What Eagle talking about? You better try to pay attention, Gil. You always asking somebody else what I'm talking about. He said, Seth, I left your True Media box and chat to come here. Yeah, you stay away from True Media, man, if I'm on. I was looking for your chat, but I found his first. Okay. What you mean you're looking for my chat, man? Subscribe, man. Damn, brother. Let me. Hey, Hey, that's y'all's new guy right there, man. Is Snuck You. So don't I'm gonna keep Snuck You. He came in here with Eagle the other day, man. He came in here when y'all was bullshitting, you know. So Snuck You came up in here, man. So yeah, hmm, yeah. So we go ahead and mod Snuck up. So welcome to the blues, Snuck. He said Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars were available a couple of months ago. Naked eye, same time. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So if you can observe it, then that's cool. But don't talk about shit that we can't observe. They always telling us some shit we can't talk that we can't see. You know what I mean? So he said, Coach. Uh, he said he talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm just saying that a lot of things they always share. They share stuff with us, even with that whole COVID shit. Uh, I'm gonna tell you guys, man. I know I can't even use these words. Hopefully we don't get taken down, Derek. I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings and stuff like that. But besides old media news, please pay attention to other outlets, especially if you find something on some social media that they'll pull a clip, like they'll get some news, not necessarily CNN, but world news. So they were saying, so this is what they're saying, Derek. So um you guys that you know took that thing, y'all that took that, I'll see better. My demonstration, y'all that took that, they're saying now that whoever took that is you're not considered as a regular human anymore, and that you are part of a patent. So you're actually owned. That they own you now. You're not your own person anymore. You're owned because you took it. So if any of y'all took it, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing like that, or I'm just telling you, is that's what's being said by those ones in up above us. They say that you guys are not. You guys are more or less transhumans now. If so, whoever took that, Gil's laughing about it, but you guys are transhuman. You guys are actually, you guys are part of a patent now. So, and that's not fake news. That's real news. Now look it up. If you think anything I say, if you think it's not right, just check it out. I always check stuff out, but I was just shaking my head just listening to it. I don't have my phone in here. Yes, I would pull it up. Hey, Derek, they took down. Yeah, shit, me and the coach get into it many times. Anyway, oh yeah, so I was just gonna mention that because I mentioned with Derek earlier, Snuck You. I told Derek, I said that I told him about you. I said, yeah, I said Snuck You. He said he's into boxing. He's like a boxing aficionado. You know, he knows about that boxing. I said, so I think we're gonna have to go back to. Now I don't say transhumans. They got some transhumans. I'm not gonna say that, brother. I don't like to use that. I don't like to use yeah. They say y'all is something other. Y'all is marketed. Yeah. I guess you could use trans, but it's like you guys are not considered regular humans no more. Y'all's human. Y'all is actually. You guys. I'm not saying you personally, but whoever took that, you guys are actually a product now. Just like anything else, like farm animals. Y'all more or less like commodities, like farm animals. And I thought that was kind of crappy. But the reason I knew it wasn't that good, or the reason I knew it wasn't that good for you, is, or that it was bullshit, is because my doctor was asking me about it. Like I told you guys before, my doctor said, "Oh, did you get your Roro injection or whatever?" I said, "No, I ain't saying get the Roro." I said, "Can you tell me what's in it?" And my doctor couldn't say nothing. I told my doctor, I said, "I'm too grown." That's exactly what I told my doctor. I talked to my doctor like a president. I don't respect people for, if I know you, if you're supposed to be like my doctor or something like that, my friend or whatever, I don't respect you like that. I respect you as a man, woman, or child, whatever. I respect you like that, but I don't respect you like if you're gonna do something to me or something like that. Now I got to get the whole information on it. Like, if I tell you guys something, like I said, you guys should probably take this. Like right now, I'm drinking this burdock, like the burdock tea. I'm drinking this. Now I would tell y'all to drink burdock. I said, y'all drink burdock. I would tell y'all to drink the burdock tea and all that. I would tell y'all. And I'll tell you the benefits or something like that. Matter of fact, I'll go get the literature or whatever else to show y'all that it's high in iron and stuff like that. It has like about 92 different minerals in it. I would tell y'all something like that. But my doctor couldn't answer the question. Got all quiet and changed the subject, left the room and came back and changed the subject. Then I'm like, if you can't tell me something about the product that you about to give me, then because they always want to put somebody on stuff like when you get, like, say for instance, I don't know if any of y'all turn 40, but if you, as soon as you turn 40, don't start taking that shit. They gonna start putting you on. I figured it out by just observing everything, and they can get mad and take this down if they want to, but in the 40s, they put you on high blood pressure medicine. In your 50s, they put you on high blood or maybe 40s. So 40s, like in your 40s, high blood pressure medicine, and then a little bit later, or it's one of the two. They put you on high blood pressure and cholesterol medicine. Cholesterol medicine. Then they put you on heart medicine after that. And then after heart medicine, there's a couple more that they put you on, solely, high blood pressure, then what's that, the high blood pressure? I've been noticing this because I talk to people of all ages, and then I hear them listen. My ears always big because I'm always listening. So they say, yeah, my doctor put me on high blood pressure medicine. My doctor put me on some sodium medicine. My doctor put me on heart medicine. Boom, 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 boom. And then when you get older than that, they put you on a couple of other little medicines and stuff like that. Certain, whatever they call blockers or whatever. And then when you get a little bit older than that and you go in, and then they start realizing, then your heart starts to fail, and they tell you that you was on this medication, and they'll tell you what medication you was on too long, and it messed up your system. There's nothing we can do about it. But it's like, why did you put me on the medicine in the first place if it was going to mess me up? Oh, you was going to have high blood pressure, or you was going to have... That's all speculatory. I might not have ever had the high blood pressure. I might not have never had the heart problems or something like that. But you put me on this medicine, but now the damages this medicine done is irreversible. And now, so I'm just telling you, so if you listen to that story, you will see. So I'm telling you stuff that they're going to do to you, or they're going to start telling you. Don't listen to that bullshit. Find something that's alternative. Even ask them, is there an alternative way? And they'll say, yeah, but this is what they're going to tell you because they got to sell you medicine. I already know what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, oh, yeah, you can do this or whatever. You can do your green tea, but not necessarily green tea. You can do this, but at the same time, you could work in this traditional medicine along with your, herbal medicines. That's what they're going to tell you. So the thing is they still going to tell you to still take what they want to give you, pills, and you could take your other stuff. But they might put you on half doses of the pills, but them pills just Where do pills go when they're in your body in the first place? Any pills that you take, where do they go in your body? Okay, here we go with Okay, y'all sir's up in here. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Snuck you pretty smart, Snuck you. He said these planets aren't as far as they say they are. Yep, like the sun. Now we can get in that whole discussion too. I don't even want to talk about it, but anyway, salute to y'all, sir. But I don't even want to get into that whole discussion, Snuck you. But I can because I know the sun ain't no 93 million. Who? Okay, put up a one if you believe that if your understanding made you come to the understanding that the sun is really 93 million miles away. Put up a one if you're still under that whole belief system. Put up a one if you believe that the sun is 93 million miles away. That's what I want to say. Anyway, salute to Bruce. Bruce Gas is up in here. Yep. But y'all sir says salute to Eagle. Yep. Salute to Ephraim at Gil Coles. Gil Coles is at y'all sir. He said, buckle your seatbelt here. Eagle Web is on one today. Y'all sir said Gil Coles. Let me fire up another day. Gil Coles and ginger tea and sage blunts. Cure anything. Oh, Joe. Oh, the sage blunts and ginger tea? I don't know. Anyway, it's not the sage blunts. Well, my sage blunt it's very smokable all the time. Matter of fact, I'm just looking. I just realized it because I have my little container. Let me show you. I got it on this table over here, but let me see. So if I was doing the thing that y'all sir would do, so y'all sir, if I did what y'all do, so Gil Coles is Gil Coles. To think about what kind of just think about the company that you're in, Gil Coles. You're the only one that you're the only one that believes that the sun is 93 million miles away. Now think about that, brother. Either you're way smarter than everybody in here, or you're way behind. There has to be one of those two, brother. If you really believe that the sun is 93 million miles away. And matter of fact, let me ask you this question. Since you believe that, how do you think they came up with a measurement of 93 million miles? And do you think man can measure something that's 93 million miles away? Give me the science behind that you can measure something that's 93 million miles away. Man can't even measure, they can't even measure the stakes that they put down in the ground. The stakes that they put down in the ground for a building without some kind of measuring device. Stop it, brother. But anyway, I'm showing this to y'all, sir. So y'all, sir, this is my medicine here. This is what I would fill up if I was a smoker. I would definitely fill something up like this. Yeah, but I got my Palo Santo in there. I got some myrrh up in there. That Palo Santo, man, I ground it down. Or I bought this one ground down. That stuff smells good, brother. That's some good smelling stuff, I'm telling you right now. Oh, it's just me smelling that right now makes me I'm gonna have to go burn some after I get up out of here. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to go burn some up in here. Yeah. That's gonna smell good. Yep. But Bruce is back. Bruce says salute, brother, at Eagles Web. Yep. Gil Coles at y'all sir laughing. Yep. Anyway, Bruce again at y'all sir Hussein at Gil Coles salute. Gil Coles Bruce salute. Yeah. Gil Coles said Bruce. Yeah. If your joints hurts, Eagles Web said rub some cinnamon on it. No, see, don't give out bad information. Bruce Gas said everything hurt. No. Bruce is already. See, I know Bruce long enough. I know Bruce is. He gonna have his little smoke fest going. But the thing about it is, you can actually use that. You can make. So the difference is, see, if I use marijuana, something like that, if you want to call it, whatever. If I use it, I'm not gonna use it the same way you guys use it. That's the difference. I didn't say I'm 100% against certain stuff. I don't smoke. I won't smoke. If you gave me $1 billion, I wouldn't smoke for $1 billion. 1 billion. Now, you got people. Most people are not that serious about their understandings of things. Because most people, and if somebody you told somebody said no, I don't smoke. You say I give you $1 billion to smoke this cigarette. Shit, how many people is not gonna smoke that cigarette whether they smoke or not? I'm gonna be the only one that doesn't smoke that cigarette. It's gonna be me, and out of 50,000 people, it's probably gonna just be me. Out of 100,000 people, it might be two of us, maybe. Out of everybody in the whole United States, it's gonna be less than 100 people. Yeah. Bruce said, "No, I know you nuts." No, I won't. I will not. There's nothing can that push me across that line. Nothing could push me across that line to smoking, because I was actually told whether you have an understanding of this or not by a higher entity that I am not to smoke. Now, some people have understandings of that, and some people just don't have understanding of that. You said you got a potpourri here. Also, I like potpourri, but the thing is, potpourri's too messy for me, Bruce. I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be all soggy time I finish using it. It's gonna be all sogged out time I finish using it. But see, the thing about it, Gil, is nobody is agreeing with you that the sun is 93 million miles away. And you see, the thing about it, people that say that, they can't answer any questions. Like, Gil cannot answer no questions about the sun whatsoever. He can't not. All he can understand, all he can do is put down a one that he believes that the sun is 93 million miles away. But see, that's really blind if you feel that way, but you have no understanding of how they came up with the calculation. So who believes that the moon is over 300,000 miles away? Put up a one if you believe that the moon is over 300,000 miles away. You can see it with a telescope. It's over 300,000 miles away, but you can see it with a telescope, or you can see it with the naked eye, but it's that far. And let me ask y'all something. Now, I'm gonna break down science for you, because a lot of times people just don't understand. Don't you know that they have this thing called photons? You know what photons are? Let me ask you something. Photons. Just because it has a name, pho, which means light, right? Photosynthesis means something has to do with light. So think about this. How does light travel through space? Through a vacuum. Through the vacuum of space. How's the life is, because light is physical, right? How does anything physical move through space? When space is a vacuum, there's nothing there. Do you know you get no propulsion off of something that's not there? Even if you supply people, because they used to make up this lie about oxygen. So even if you supply oxygen to something, like if you had a rocket up in space, if you apply propulsion to it, you're talking to a scientist, which you keep forgetting. If you apply propulsion to something and you have nothing to propel off of, how do you move? If you're in your car and your car is suspended in the air and you push down on the gas, how far are you going? Are you going to be able to go forward or back? Yeah, see, the thing is, that's what I'm saying, man. Some of y'all still got that child mindset. Y'all got to get out of that, man. Y'all too grown. This is grown folks chat. That's why I invited. That's why if you read the title, what it says, grown folks. So this is for grown. If you're not grown, if your mentality is not grown, this chat is above you. It's not for you today. You can still be over 18 and come in most days, but today we're talking about stuff like I said. I had the tragic news that a friend of mine's tell me that they're killing the women over in Kenya, and they're cutting out. They're cutting their reproductive organ out, stuff like that. But that's not going to be in the news. Why isn't that in the news? See, it's serious stuff, man. It's really serious. Let me see what you got. Would you take an ass beating from Mike Tyson for $1 billion? Yeah, I'll take an ass beating from Mike Tyson. Because the thing is, I know how to cover up. I mean, he'll beat my ass. I'm gonna get some punches in off on him though. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to take no comatose knockout, but yeah, he gonna get hit back for 100% for sure. 100%, 2,000% for sure. He gonna get hit back. 100%. I mean, he getting hit back. I mean, I don't have that type of skill set. I'm not an idiot. I don't have that kind of skill set. I definitely, yeah, I'll take that ass whooping. Yeah. I mean, if they won't just let me lay down, if I got to go out there and slug, I'll probably just come out there swinging, I'll be like, okay, I'm shook. I got a hard ass head still, so I'm like, yeah, I'm shook. I'll go down. Snuck, you said we aliens alienated in this alienation empty inside. They said my mind's on vacation ever since I started boasting about my trips from Jersey to Pluto, space travel without ships. What you're talking about astral. They call it astral projecting. That's the only way you can leave where you're at. That's the only way you can leave Earth, though, is through astral projecting. But it's not really that. They say portals, but they set up different portals. Now they show you these imaginary rings and stuff with this little electricity going through. They show you that that's a portal. That might be a type of portal, but that's not the only kind of portal. But that's for a different discussion. Snuck you. Some people will understand that, and some people won't. They'll just frown up at that. Because people don't think that their dreams is real. People think that their whole body, don't you know that you work off of consciousness more than you work off of physicality? Think about it. You work off of consciousness. No matter what most of the stuff you're doing, you're working off of consciousness. Your stomach hurts. You work off of conscious, oh shit, I need to eat because my stomach hurts. You understand? Physical, but your brain had to tell you to go get the food. Just because you're hungry, you ain't going to just go get food. If you had no brain and you was hungry, you wouldn't go do nothing. You just sit there. But every little thought, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. That's all, it's conscience. When you go to sleep, your conscience don't just stay, it's not staying there with you. You think your actual spirit stays in your body while you're laying there, not doing nothing? Because your spirit got to always be active. Because your spirit don't run off the kind of energy that you do. You could be famished and your ribs could be sticking out with no, you need water and everything else. You need food. And your spirit's still there. But your spirit is that driving force too, also, to drive you to go get some kind of food. But you silly Snuck you for breaking that up. He said, now Eagles will want to break down science. No, yeah. You got to break it down. Because you're not understanding. The thing is, I got to break down science for you, Gil, because, brother, because you said that you believe that the sun is 93 million miles away, but you can't give me anything to back it up. So why are you believing something that that can't be backed up? It can't even be backed up with science. Snuck you, we too smart for the tricks. He said the tricks now, yeah. He said tricknology. Yep. There isn't a jet engine to propel my car in midair. That's not what I just asked you. I asked you, why don't you move? I was trying to give you the whole example of if you're up there in space, there's nothing, you can't move. The reason you can't move because there's nothing to propel you. That was the story. There's nothing to propel you forward. At least if your tires are touching the ground, now you can propel yourself forward. Now let me blow your complete mind though. If you're in your car, you're traveling 60 miles an hour, what part of your car is traveling at 0 miles per hour? Let me see if you understand anything about science. There's an area on your car. If you're driving 60 miles an hour, there's an area on your car that's traveling at 0 miles an hour. Can you name that part? Can anybody name that part of the car that's traveling at 0 miles an hour. I'm gonna see how much much knowledge you have on science. That's what I'm saying. You believe in that, and this is what they tell people all the time. 93 million miles away, please. You don't even know how far your house is from Miami. Your house, your physical house, you don't even know how far it is. Even if you use GPS, you don't know how far it is. Because they're going to give you the air travel. And it's always going to depend on which streets you go down and all that type of stuff. But people believe in that whole Google Maps and all that shit. You can look at Google Maps and, well, I know I'm probably in trouble. Look at Google Maps and see how animated that shit is. That's CGI shit. And you think that's the Earth. Oh, your mind's already blown from what I said about the sun distance? No, I said if anybody believed that the sun is 93 million miles away. You got people in here. You got older people than us in here. You got Bruce Gass in here. He didn't put up a 1. You got Derek Bailey in here. He didn't put up a 1. You got Yasser in here. He didn't put up a 1. You got Snuck You in here. He didn't put up a 1. You're the only one that has the knowledge on everybody in the chat. Is that you think that sun that you're looking up at is 93 million miles away, but you can see it like the way that you see it. Come on, man. Stop it, man. If you're in a vacuum of space, Gil, there's no way to propel yourself. There's nothing physical that can actually go through space. If it was for space, if you could see stars, if just seeing stars itself, that eliminates the whole idea of space. If you could see the sun, that eliminates the whole idea of a vacuum of space. That eliminates it. Because there's nothing that can travel through space. Because if you're saying that there's photons, that's something that's physical, how can it travel through something that doesn't exist? If space is void, how do you have something physical that can go through something that's void? It makes no sense. Yeah, so right back. He said, I just got back. No, I asked anybody. I said, Gil was the only one that believes that the sun is 93 million miles from the earth. There's nobody else that agreed. I said, put up a 1 if you believe that the sun is 93 million miles away from earth. Nobody put up a 1. Gil was the only one that put up a 1. Because he's really stuck in that. He really believes in that science that they can actually measure how far the sun is. And then the thing about it, if the sun is so many million miles in space, how do you even see light? Because light is a physical thing. Right? Light is physical. And light, you can't travel through something that's not physical. If there's a vacuum in space, that's something that's not physical. It's a vacuum. That means there's no particles there. There's no particles. So how do you get sunlight if there's no particles, if there's nothing for it to reflect off of? If there's nothing for it to reflect off to get here, then how does it get here? See, that whole thing, this blew his whole mind. He thinks it's alternative science. You see what he at Yasser? He said Professor Eaglewebb is teaching alternative science. No, I'm asking questions, and nobody is able to say. But Snuck, you said engines built from water can cross the border and still feed the thirsty and cause a disorder. He said for the New World Order, oil guzzlers, and no different than drug smugglers. And yeah, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, they don't allow the water technology. Because water is the easiest thing to break down. Water is so important. People don't understand that you live in water. Air is water. They didn't teach you that in school. That air is water. Well, put up your 1, y'all, sir. If you agree with Gil, then put up your 1. You believe that the sun is 93 million miles away? And you believe that you can actually see photons going through a vacuum, something that's void? Something basically that don't exist. What they're telling you is something that don't exist, but it exists for you can see light and everything else. That's bullshit. If you got like a vacuum, there's nothing there. Don't you know that you have to have something? You have to have some molecules or something. If you do believe in any kind of science, did they teach you about molecules? You know, things are built up of atoms and molecules. That if you don't have atoms and you don't have molecules, what do you have? If there's nothing there, no atoms, no molecules, what do you have? How can you physically react? See, this is what I'm saying, man. People are so slow. How do you have something that can physically react with something that's not there? I mean, can you physically react with a girl that's not there? Can you physically react with her if she doesn't exist? Can you have a physical reaction with her? She doesn't exist, but you can have a physical reaction. I'm trying to break it down where you can understand it. See, laughter, all laughter shows is up here. That's what laughter shows. When somebody's being serious and you're up here and you just laugh, that means you have zero understanding and you want zero understanding. You see, y'all, sir, he agree with you, but he won't put up a 1. I didn't have everybody put up a 1 to fight. No, that's not what I said. I asked you if you believe that the sun is 93 million miles away. So that's semantics that you're doing right there, y'all, sir. That's some semantical bullshit. The way I see it, if there's a lot of unanswered, he said, the planet, let alone the solar system. I'm not asking anything about the solar system. We got to do one thing at a time, brother. One thing at a time. Do you believe that the sun is 93 million miles away? And if so, if that's your belief, then what do you base your belief on? No, I'm not even saying that I have all the understanding. I'm learning too. I learn from y'all too. I'm not here to just teach y'all and nothing like that, but I'm just saying the reason I'm asking the question is because maybe you could break it down for me. See, that's what y'all don't understand. Y'all think that I'm asking you because I have all the knowledge. No, I'm asking you because maybe you could teach me. That's what this chat is about, is grown folks chat. Grown folks chat. So maybe y'all got some information that I need. Y'all silly. It's not that I know the whole thing, but that's why I asked the question about something that's not there. If something's not there, how do you react with something that's not there? Just like that Jaime Munguia punch that they're talking about. That punch that didn't land and knock somebody out. How do you react to something like that? Usually when you react to something that's not there, what do we call it? We call it fakery. If somebody reacts to something that's not there. They have these guys that's in ministry and stuff. Sometimes they touch people like that, and it's supposed to be some kind of spirit to go through them, and all these people just falling all over the place. And then there was one lady that went up to the guy, and one of these guys touched her and was touching her harder and harder, and she didn't go nowhere. Like I said, if you react to something that's not there, then it's fakery. Even I had my crazy ass cat, man, one time. My cat he was so dramatic, he acted like a human being. He used to do so much crazy shit. I dropped a jar on the floor one time, and my cat rolled over and acted like he was shot. I'm like, how this cat is reacting to stuff that ain't even there. That's bad. That's sad when you got animals that react to stuff that ain't there. Yeah. But Snuck, you said we can't fly above certain heights. Y'all sir said, yeah, I think that's about right. They have powerful telescopes for thousands of years now. Okay, so telescopes tell you how far away something is. So if you had a telescope that you could look in from where you're at over to the United States, and you think that telescope can tell you how many miles away the United States is? Kyoko said I heard Devin got slapped by Lubin. Probably not. Probably not. He might have, but okay, so we got 2 people. So y'all sir is actually believing that. Yeah, so we got 2 people that halfway. Well, y'all sir still didn't really. He's just saying because of telescopes, which that's bullshit. But anyway, we'll go with telescopes. First of all, if the sun was out in space, I'm gonna tell you something. If the sun was actually in a vacuum of space, you wouldn't be able to see it, because you can't see through something that don't exist. That's what y'all not understanding. You can't see through something that don't exist. They tell you that even when they teach you science, they're telling you. They're telling you that they're lying to you, but you believe in it. They're telling you that there's a vacuum. They're telling you that about reactions. Anything when you have an action, there has to be a reaction. But if there's something, if you can you have an action on something that doesn't exist? That's what I'm asking. That's basic science. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. That's basic science. That's one of the first things you learn in science. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. Think about that. Equal or opposite. There's an equal or opposite reaction. So if you have a reaction on something, then it has to react. But if you have a reaction on nothing, then how could you have a reaction or how could you have an action or a reaction if it doesn't exist? You can't kiss a girlfriend that don't exist. Because if you kiss a girlfriend that don't exist, you're just kissing off in the air. You're just kissing nothing. As a matter of fact, so you're not kissing nobody. There's no reaction and there's no action. No, that's the easiest thing, and that's the first thing you learn. Hey, somebody put up a one if that was one of the first things you learned in science. Is for every actions, there's an equal or opposite reaction. About the sun. Well, the sun can't be in space, Gil, because it has to have something to have an action on. It has to react to something. How could you get sunlight if it has nothing to react on? If the sunlight hits the pavement, is there a reaction to the pavement? If it hits the pavement? Yes, it warms the pavement up, right? Is there a reaction to trees? Yeah, there's photosynthesis. Because it's reacting on something. It's reacting on something else. So the opposite reaction of the sunlight hitting the tree is photosynthesis. That's the reaction. That's the opposite reaction because the sun is putting out the photons and the tree is taking those photons in and turning them into energy, into something else. Or about the sun. No, the sun's supposed to be 93 million. No, I'm just saying something is physical. If you don't have something there, then it's just not there, brother. Simple as that. Now, you can't tell me that you got a void in space and then tell me that you got all this other stuff in space. If there's a void in space, there can't be nothing there. I won't be able to see something there because you can't see from something. If nothing is there, you can't see something that's nothing. You can't react with something that is nothing. And something can't be nothing because it takes away from what it is being. If it's something, then it can't be nothing. If nothing's there, there's not there. When somebody says, oh, there's something in here. If there's nothing there, then there's nothing there. Just like if you look at the trees, you see you understand that the wind's blowing the leaves around. If in space, if you could put a tree in space, if there's a vacuum, that tree won't do anything out there. It won't do nothing. It won't be considered standing still. If you put it upside down, it's just going to be upside down. It will not move. There's nothing to react with. It won't grow. It won't die. It won't age. It won't do anything. Because there's nothing for it to react with. That's what I'm trying to break that part down. There's nothing for it to react with. If it's in space, think about something that is in space. It can't react. There's nothing for it to react with because it's the void. The space is void. There's nothing there. There's no particles. There's no molecules. There's nothing for it to react with. It's just the whole thing. They told us, when they told us that bullshit, they told us the truth and lied at the same time. They made us think that you can have something that reacts with nothing. And you can't have something that reacts with nothing. Because something is something and there's nothing. Because if you put something in nothing, you still have something. I'm trying to break it down. I'm breaking it down in kids' language. No, that's what no science. That's what science says. That's what they say. They said, just Google it for yourself. How far is the sun? 93 million miles, and it's gonna say 93 point something something miles. Some bullshit. Basically, is 8 light minutes away from the Earth. Because if you base it off the speed of light, which the speed of light is bullshit. Light is either there or it's not there. Simple as that. Light is instant. Light is instantly on or is instantly off. As simple as that. There is no speed on light. Because if you're traveling, say you turn on the light and you're traveling light speed. Think about that. You're traveling at light speed, and somebody turns the light on. Do you ever see that light? Would you ever see that light if you're traveling at light speed? The molecules exist in our gravity, get too far, and molecules get less and less. So the way we think doesn't exist beyond the atmosphere, and we still can't understand where our atmosphere stops. No, but I'm not even talking about atmosphere. When you snuck. No, just look it up, brother. Just look for it. No, they told us that in school. It was. I think it started off. I'm not even 100% sure. I think it started off as like 63 million miles, and then they changed it. And they change it all the time. I'll look it up on Microsoft. I'm looking on Microsoft right now. See what they say. No, but I wasn't talking about like the solar systems and all that. I was talking about just the whole. So they got in here is 149.60 million kilometers away from the Earth. It says the sun is 150 million kilometers. So one says 149.60. That's the other one. Of course, they have to use number. They have to use all these 6 numbers. If you look at these numbers, man, it's all 6s. 150 million kilometers. That's how many 6s is that? That's 1 6. 1 5 equals 6. Of course, they're going to use that number. 93 million miles. Of course, 9 is the biggest 6 you can have. 3 6s. 93. That's like 3 6s. That's like 666. They just do it upside down. I just dropped some other knowledge in there on y'all just to let you know. Yeah, I just found it on this Bing search right now. So that's what it says right there, brother. No, but my whole point is just, I'm just curious. Maybe it is 93 million miles away. I don't believe it. I don't believe nothing they tell me scientifically, because I know they lie a lot about stuff. Because I've done experiments myself, and I'm like, nah, they full of shit. They lying to us on that. Sometimes you just got to realize that you're being lied to. Yep. I don't know my science teacher's name, man. That was too many years ago, brother. He said, I need to know who told you this. I don't know. Whoever was my first science teacher told me. I don't know. Just look it up. It should be 8 minutes. I'll look it up again. Let me go back in here for Gil. I'm going to look up how many. And so I'm going to look in light years. So I'm asking how far the sun is away from the Earth in light years. Okay, here. How many light years away from Earth is the sun? It takes 8.3 minutes for light to travel from the sun to the Earth, a distance 1.5 times 10 to the minus 5 light years, the most distant speed. Okay. Then it goes into talking about that bullshit Voyager and all that stupid shit. So the Earth, I said 8 minutes, so I was wrong. So it's like 8.3 minutes, 8 light minutes away from Earth. That's one thing about Eagle. I don't forget a lot of shit. I store some of the bullshit information just so I can just have it. But most of their shit, like a lot of their science, I just kind of. Well, I remember at one point I told you I just threw all my books away. And when I say all, I mean for the most part, most of my books I just threw away because I just found that they was full of shit. A lot of books was just full of shit. You want to know why I don't believe it? Because it's bullshit, Gil. He said, who told you the numbers were wrong? No, why don't I believe it? Because it's bullshit, Gil. Because you're mixing it, because they mixed it up. You know what I mean? If they wouldn't have mixed it up, they might have had me duped too. But they mixed up the information. Their information gets worse and worse, Gil. They have a. Don't you know that they changed the whole definition of gravity now? Remember, gravity used to be a force, a pulling force. That used to be gravity. Now, now gravity. The definition behind gravity is the bending of space and time. That's the definition of gravity, and there's no way to figure it out. There's no scientific way that you can show somebody gravity. They made it to where they can't. They don't. They used to have it to where gravity was. They had formulas for it where you could do the formula for gravity, but now you can't. They changed the whole thing. Now you can't just do that. You can't just change the whole science behind it. Like we're gonna just change the whole science. See, they couldn't change it. They're stuck on the sun. Because you already said 93 million miles. Now, you can't change that. If you do change it, it has to be like 92. I mean, you can't change it because it's 93 million. So you can't change it too much. But far as the gravity thing, they had to change the whole thing. Now, the definition of gravity is the bending of space and time. Figure that one out. Who can figure that out? How does it exist if it's the bending of space and time? Now, that's why I started questioning science, because I had to go because I was all like into physics and science. I was loving it, like, oh yeah, this science shit. But then we started doing too much theoretical science. Well, theoretically, I'm like, wait, hold up. You can't tell me specifically, and then now you're talking about theoretical stuff. Nah. Then it started messing me up. I was like, nah, y'all full of shit. Y'all don't even understand. You. Yeah. Yeah, Snuck, you said you was told the distance. Yeah, they told us that in school. The reason I don't believe it, so the reason I don't believe it, because the information doesn't add up, Gil. You heard there's an old song, man, from the 70s or 80s or something like that. I don't know. It's called, I don't know if it's really the name, but it's called Nothing from Nothing Leaves Nothing. You have to have something if you want to be with me. It has to be something there. So nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want me to believe. There has to be something. You can't take nothing. You can't put something on the other side of nothing and then expect for me to see it. Like the sun is supposed to be out there nowhere. So the sun is nowhere, but you want me to believe that I can see the sun and it's nowhere? It has to be somewhere in order for me to see it. It can't be just like 93 million miles away in space. And how do you measure in space when measurement is something physical? That's what I'm saying. So how do you measure something in space when space is not physical? How do you have a measurement in something that's not physical? That's my whole idea. If it's not physical, how do you measure it? Give me the explanation. How do you measure nothing? See how I break it down? I break it down better than they do. How do you measure nothing? What is the measurement of nothing? Give me a measurement of nothing. How do you measure nothing? Eags Webb, so your own research, what less you believe what you're saying? Of course, I don't believe what I'm saying. What I'm saying is factual. It's factual. Because there's nobody's even in this chat that can give me a claim of something different. You see what I mean? You can't tell me something that's different. I don't have to believe. I know that what I'm saying is truthful. Because not one person is answering none of the questions. How do you measure nothing, Gil? They're trying to tell you that the sun is way out there, 93 million miles away in nothing, in nothingness. How do you measure nothingness? If space is void, think about it. If space is void, what does void mean? If it's void of particles, if it's void of molecules, how do you measure it? Because even with molecules, if you look at the periodic chart, there's a certain measurement that they use in order to determine the weights of all the molecules. That's why you see something that might have a 1 there. 1 kilogram or whatever it is, 1 gram. Like if you look at your periodic chart, it tells you for so many molecules, that's how much stuff weighs. And that's why you have a periodic chart that starts with low numbers and goes up to higher numbers, because the density and the weight of something. But the space, if you put space on a periodic chart, it would be nothing there. Nothing. You can't measure it. There's no molecules to measure off of. How do you measure something that's not there? Just like my simple question, how do you measure nothing? Yeah. My science teacher, 10th grade, said to me, "How do you know this?" He said, "You're the smartest student I ever seen." Yeah, because it's a curriculum. They have to teach you certain shit. They have to teach you stuff, and the reason they have to teach you is because they get paid. They got to teach your ass the dumb shit because they get paid to teach you stupid shit. They get paid. Yeah. I was so much into that shit. I was teaching my little boy. He's 5 years old, and I was teaching him how to do algebra. I taught him how to do algebra at like 5 years old. I should have taught him earlier than that. But some of the math I understand, but even math, they're full of shit. They lie to us because they tell us that 1 times 1 is equal to 1. It can't be, because it's supposed to be a multiplication. You can't multiply if you don't multiply. 1 times 1 already takes away from being a multiplication. How do you multiply something? What does you took away from it? See, they lied to us in everything. Even in math, they lied to us. Because 1 times 1 can't be 1. How could it be 1 if you're multiplying? Think about it. You're multiplying. 1 times 1. How in the hell can that be 1? If you're multiplying. Multo means addition to. If you have a family and you multiply your family, you can't be like, wife is pregnant with baby, but then the baby you don't count the baby. It's just hard to explain to people, man. It's easy to explain. It's hard to get through. No, 1 times 1 ain't 1. You got 2 1s up there already. Look at your equation. See, Gil is so stuck in it, he can't see outside the box, man. He's stuck. Look how many numbers he has up there. You got 1, and you times 1. It's not the physical thing that you write down. You're writing down 1, but think about it. Just think about what I just said. It's multiplication. What does addition mean? What is 1 plus 1, Gil? What is 1 plus 1? What is 1 plus 1, Gil? Think about it. What is 1 plus 1? See, you're not getting it, brother. I mean, we still use that, but it's not real. Think about it. 1 plus 1. What is 1 plus 1? 1 plus 1 is an addition. Addition. What is multiplication? Is that some type of an addition? Then how come it doesn't satisfy the word multiplication? You shouldn't even put 1 times 1. Think about it. You shouldn't even have 1 times 1 if it doesn't exist. You're not multiplying. If you're losing one of the 1s, then did you multiply? Think about this. Just think about what I said. If you if you multiplied one of the 1s and it disappears, did you multiply? That's like you multiplied by nothing. That's like you said 1 times 1. That's like 1 times nothing is 1. That's more or less what you did. Snuck, you said she couldn't win an argument with me in any class. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, man. There's a lot of people just coming up. That a lot of people just actually realizing the reality of the bullshit that they taught us. Because the word, if you look at the etymology, you don't have to look at the etymology of the word. You're smart enough to know that multiply means that you're going to have a gain. You know, you're going to gain more by a multiple. Multiply. People don't understand that. Multiply. They bullshitted us on everything. And they had us hook, line, and sinker and make us believe it. They make us believe that things have to, that you, for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. But if there's nothing to react with, then you can't have a reaction. You can't have sunlight through a vacuum when there's nothing for the sunlight to bounce off of. If there's nothing to travel through, then you can't travel. If you don't have a road, wind, or grass or something to travel through, you can't travel. Let's say, for instance, you was on top of something that didn't exist. But, I mean, you don't know where top and bottom is, do you? The reality of space is that you don't know. There is no up, down, east, left. There's no east, west, north, south. There's no directions in something that's void. There's absolutely no directions. So how does the sun direct sunlight towards us if there's no directions in the first place? How does it move in something that doesn't exist? That means there's something out there that has to exist in order for the sun to exist. I'm just trying to, I know that a lot of times we feel like, oh, I was today years old when I learned this, but it's just like, I'm trying to make you think commonly. I'm trying to make people think commonly, like think. Snuck, you said Webb. He said we could break down top scientists. Yeah. Because the reason we can break down top scientists is, and I have broken them down before. The reason you can break them down is because they listened to the bullshit they told them, and they fell for the shit hook, line, and sinker. And the thing about it is they're not really thinking though. They never thought. All they did was like read books, got the answers, got the A plus, and was okay. I was a 4.0 student. I got the grades. I was actually, I think at one point they had some courses it was above 4. So my highest, I was at like 4.15 or something like that. But I was on the president's list, all that bullshit. But what does that matter if what you're learning is bullshit? And you're falling for it. Say, wait a minute, this is like, except for this. That's why a lot of the, even when you do a lot of the equations, they have exceptions when you do equations. It's like, wait, hold on. What's this exception bullshit? Why are you putting exceptions within the formulas? They even do that with our language, because they know that they wrote the English language in a bullshit way, so they even give us exclusions and stuff. Like they'll give us the PH that makes an F sound. They'll say I before E except after C. Wait, hold up now. How come all of a sudden we changing it? Why is the I before the E except for after C? Why? What the hell that got to do with it? Why? Why is C so important? Is it because it's the third letter? You just start breaking shit down. Is it because it's the third letter? Or is it because it's the shape? Why? Why are we doing that? Because you're deceiving me? What's going on? You just start thinking on your own. Because I'm a heavy thinker. I used to be a lot heavier in thinking. Now I don't even have to think because I know everything's bullshit. So I don't even have to think anymore. When they put certain stuff up and they use certain numbers, I already got it. I'm like, when they start using too many 6s and 3s and 9s, I already know. I know it's bullshit when they start using stuff. When they use 11s, I know it's full of shit. I know it's based off of some kind of disaster. Anytime you use 11, it's based off of some kind of disaster. That's why even when you, even on our phone system, we call, when you want emergency, you use some kind of 1s. Either it's some kind of, it's all bullshit when you use 911. You got to use 911, always emergency. Bullshit. It's something that they can implant up here, 311, 411, 611. It's something where they can put it up in here. It's something that they can put up here. Just like in police jargon when they use all the 10s. The 10 is just for, they're going to attend to a certain number after that 10. So we attend to, it means everything's okay. So they say 10-4, attend to the 4 just go forward. So you just going forward to whatever you're doing. Just keep as you were in the military, as you were. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Gil Cole said. See, Snuck, I'm glad that you're in here while Gil's here, because Gil is actually his mindset is actually, he's actually in the mindset, even though we're having this discussion, he's in the mindset that we're out of our mind. He says you can't measure no density. It's nothing. He said density. And then Gil said, I know you just playing Eagles Web. No, I'm just bringing you into reality, young brother. Same thing with religion. They teach teachers, they get paid. Yeah, but Gil is not understanding that. He really doesn't get it. Now he might be playing. I don't know, because I don't know. I take you guys serious, but at the same time, I don't really take you serious. But when I'm talking grown folks chat, when I am serious when I talk about this science thing right here, because they did bullshit you, because you can't even find it. I just pulled it up. I just told you that they said that the Earth is 93.6 million miles away, 150 what they say 150,000 kilometers away from the Earth. I just pulled it up, and that the sun is like, if you do the time, that is not 8.3 minutes light minutes away from the Earth. 8.3. They always got to have their threes in there. Multiply that 8 times 3, you get what? 24. In numerology, what you get, a 6. It sounds like conspiracy, but why is it always there? Why is it always there? If it's conspiracy, why is it always there? Just like when they made the clock, they put 12 hours. But you can't measure a year. Because they're always taking hours away from our existence. They take, like in the fall, they take an hour. In the spring, they give us an hour. Leap year, they give us another day. But we're supposed to believe that these things are consistent, and that man can't even measure time on Earth, but he can measure the distance to the sun. Get the F out of here. You're on Earth, and you can't even measure time on Earth, but you can measure the distance to the sun. This in a vacuum that there's no way to measure, because you have a start point, but you can't have an end point, because it's going to be an illusion. Because if there's nothing there and you can see something, how could you see something out of nothing? It don't even make sense. Even dark doesn't even exist. Dark is only there because it's because the measurement of light is low. There's no such thing as dark. Dark is just the absence of light. It doesn't really exist. As soon as you put some light on there, where's the dark go? It disappears. That means it was never there. That's what that space is. It's not there. There's no space. I'm sorry. If it hurts your feelings, then it just has to hurt your feelings. But I'm sorry, brother, you was tricked. And when I say you were tricked, it didn't mean that I wasn't tricked too. I was tricked. But you grow up. You just grow up and say, wait a minute, that's bullshit. They ain't lying. Because why would you change gravity? Think about it. Why are you starting to change stuff? Why you change gravity? Now it's not a force anymore. It's the spending of space and time. Come on, stop. How you been time? When you can't even measure time accurately. You can't even measure the time of year. That's why Creator gave us seasons. He gave us like certain seasons. That's why he gave us reminders with the moon. You know, he actually, even the woman's cycle is based off of our 25, moon cycles. That's a woman's body is even based off of 28 days. What we would call day and night. It's based off of that, 28 days. That's really a month. That's our real moon. It's 28 days. It's not 30 and 20. It's not 28 and 29 and 31 and 30. It's 28 days. It's consistent. It's consistent. This earth was made in a certain way. It was made just like what we would call a chronogram. That's what it was made, just like a clock. That's how the earth was made, just like that. But all this bullshit of traveling in space and shit, when you can't propel off of nothing, how you gonna propel off of nothing? Even if you send a rocket into space, it has to that blast you have to blast off of something, In order for yourself to move, you got to blast off of some kind of molecules. If there's no air molecules or nothing for you to blast off, you ain't going nowhere. You can't make molecules. And let's say, for instance, you could make molecules. How long could you make them in a void of space? How long could you actually create molecules? And aren't they just going to disappear into off into space? They're going to try to equalize out into the vacuum. Because even if you make a vacuum, if you make a vacuum, you can do a scientific experiment for yourself. If you just do a simple vacuum, I'll tell you what is a vacuum. Just like a simple vacuum is like a balloon. A balloon with no air in it, that's a vacuum. That's what it looks like. As soon as you put air in it, it blows up. As soon as you let that air disappears. Same thing if you blow up a can. Say if you blow up a can and you suck all the air out the can, now the can becomes flat because that's a vacuum. There's nothing that exists in a vacuum. You understand? You pull the air, you pull all those molecules out of that can will flatten out because there's nothing. That means everything that's out there, when if it's a vacuum, everything should be flattened. Because that's what a vacuum does. A vacuum flattens everything out. If you pull all the air out of a can, that can flattens out because there's no molecules. You pulled all the molecules out. Now it flattens out. It's not going to air back up. You flattened it out, all the molecules. Now, you could slowly put molecules back in. It probably won't have the same shape, but you can slowly put the molecules back in. But that's what vacuum means. There's nothing there. It's vacuum. It's void. So if you void anything, you void it of the molecules, it's going to flatten out. For the most part. There are certain things that will expand in a vacuum. Certain things that will expand in a man-made vacuum. Put it that way. In a man-made vacuum, there's things that will expand. If it's a man-made vacuum. And usually those are artificial things. Usually. Because of their own dynamics. Because let's say, for instance, marshmallows. If you put a vacuum on marshmallows, they'll probably expand. Because marshmallows are because of the atmospheric pressure that's on marshmallows. That's what keeps them at that shape. Is because of our atmosphere, the pressure that we normally go through. But as soon as you take that pressure away, they're able to expand. You didn't know that Eagle knew that kind of stuff, huh? Yeah. You said 666 should be divided by 3s and 2s. Yeah, it did. But that's the numbers. I'm starting to use their numbers. Because y'all, sir, I'm going to roll a sage blunt because this. He said this is Lalo and El Zapo. I ain't getting me high enough by the looks of it. Don't get too high, brother. But anyway, this is good chat for me, though. This is grown folks chat. We haven't really did grown folks chat, Snuck You. We haven't done grown folks chat for a little while. Every once in a while, we do grown folks chat. Derek's probably working still, so that's why he's not that much involved. Bruce is probably cooking or smoking. That's why he's not that involved. But they still listen, though. If I say something that rings a bell, they'll get back in there, though. But I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm not trying to start no fights with anybody, nothing like that. I just want, this grown folks chat. So if we can't be sensitive. We just got to understand, hey, I didn't know that. Thank you for enlightening me, brother. Thank you for bringing something to my attention. Yeah, it's all, the information's all out there, man. Solve your equation. Okay, so you say 666 divided by 3, which will give me 222 in 2s. I don't understand the question. You said in 2s. I think maybe you add 2s. You got to put it back, brother. Your equation, that's a smoker's equation, the way you wrote it. It's a smoker's equation, man. I can't. No, it's not hard, but I'm saying it's not hard. But you said, can you, 666 can be divided by 3. Okay, yeah, it'll be 222, right? You said in by twos. If you divide it by two, it'll be 333. 222, 333. That's if you're using their if you're using their system. But see, what you got to understand is their system is flawed though, because we can't even get past the whole point of one times one. We can't get past that because we all think because we're all taught that it's one. I said, wait a minute, I got when I never believed it. The first day I heard one times one, I was confused, and I was confused every day since that until I just finally realized it was bullshit. I was confused the first day that we had multiplication when they said one times one is one. They said two times two is four. Now I followed along when we got to four. It made a little bit of sense, and the way they lined it up, it's like a shortcut of addition, but it can't be a shortcut of addition if it don't work all the way. It has to work for every number if it's, you know what I mean? It has to work for every number. If it doesn't work for every number, it can't be a true. It's not the scientific or the science behind it. It doesn't work. Threes, then two. Okay, so you're saying, I think this is what you're saying. So I'm gonna ask you before I get out of here. I stayed in the chat so long today because this is fun. So my understanding is you're saying that 666 that you divide by 3. So I got 222. And then I divide by 2. And I should have 111. And zeros really do exist. Zeros is an actual number. Because Snuck, you're a 0 and I'm 0. Because you start off with yourself. You don't count yourself. You count everything after you. You might not get there for a while, but after a while you'll get it. 0 is real. 0 is the starting point. Because if 0 wasn't the starting point, then you couldn't even get to, you would start everything off with 1. Nothing starts off with 1. So what they're telling you is that all these numbers they're giving you, what they're telling you that these numbers are really points. They're not really numbers, they're actually points. That's what they're telling you. When it comes to math, they're telling you that there's points. They're not telling you that there's really numbers that exist. We're looking at everything as numbers, but it's just points. Yeah. It's just points. And it's all different points. Even us, if you try to count everybody on earth, you can't. If you categorize us as people, then you can count us. But if you don't categorize us as people, then we're just different points. Because we're individuals. We're all different. If you're an individual, you can't be grouped into like a group of like people. Because when you do that, then now you start having all these different constructs. You start off with people. You start the family, then community, then county, then states. Then you start doing stuff like that. Then world. Yeah, but that whole one thing, that whole one times one, they full of shit. One time one can't be it can't be multiplied. It can't be. You could prove them wrong, and you could tell them. You could ask somebody what's one time one. They're gonna tell you 1. You say no. How could it be 1? Ask somebody that and see how much. See, just that simple question. Ask somebody and see how much it messes them up. Have somebody explain to you how. Ask them how is 1 times 1 equal to 1. Ask him how is it. Ask him how is it. Ask him what happened to the other 1. Just ask him. Just keep these 3 questions. Ask him how they figured out. How is that possible? Ask him how 1 times 1 is possible. Ask him how 1 times 1 is possible to be 1. Then ask him how can that be a multiple based on the word itself. How could it be a multiple? Ask him how it works. Ask him how could it be a multiple. Yeah, he said you tried to fool me, but I understand 0. Yes, I understand 0. Yeah. A lot of people don't get it. Because zero is not nothing. Because if it was nothing, it wouldn't exist. God dang, it's it's so simple. No, I'm saying it's so simple. Yeah, but it's so simple. It can't. Nothing from nothing is nothing. Zero is not nothing. Yes, you wouldn't say zero. How many dollars you got in your pocket? $0. No, you got no dollars. Nothing. You have no. No is part of nothing. You got no dollars. You don't have $0 because you can show me. Because as soon as you say show me, they're gonna say, "Oh, I ain't got nothing." Okay, that's proper. You make people subconsciously change their answer just by you answering a. You said who before you leave? Who did you study? Well, if I heard like different people talking, like I said, I go to new media a lot. No. So what I do is I go to new media a lot. No, what I do is I'm a thinker. I've always been a thinker. So this is what happens when you're a thinker and you throw all the books away. Now I'm not saying I won't pick the books up because you need that in order to because I want to go back to school again. I'm gonna try to keep an open mind because I know what they're gonna teach me is bullshit. But I want to go back to school. Get a different degree. But I know it's gonna be bullshit what they teach me. But I gotta try to keep telling myself this is bullshit. I gotta keep telling myself just go ahead and just do what they say. Do what they say. Do what they say. Just don't believe it. Do what they say. But see, once you get to the point where you know it's bullshit, then you always got to do like this. Do what they say. Do what they say. It's bullshit, but just do what they say. Stop thinking about it. Don't think about it like that. Don't think about it like. Just do what they say. Just do it. Don't believe it, but just do it. That's what you got to. Your mind frame has to be like that. So what happens when you throw away all your books? You listen to other people that have like minds. And so I find people on different forums. They just all of a sudden for some reason they come to me. It just pops up, and somebody will be saying something that makes sense to me. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, and I'll just start listening to them. And that's basically how I learned. Besides my own thought process, I said no. When you realize everything is bullshit, then you start thinking on your own. That's the whole point. Is that you start thinking on your own, especially when they start telling you about the sun and they're doing measurements of something that doesn't exist. Like space don't exist, but you can measure in it. How could you measure in something that don't exist? That's like me measuring my imaginary girlfriend that's not here. And I just start putting stuff on her. And then everybody else will start imagining this. So we start imagining that the sun is 93 million miles away. Just like people would imagine my beautiful girlfriend is standing right next to me, who happens to be 5'8". She weighs 125 pounds. She has light brown hair. She has light brown hair, gray eyes, beautiful face. She has a full, nice figure, little waist, little 24-inch waist. Hips a nice 38. Breasts nice 38. She's real lean, little teeny belly button, full lips. Nice slim face, long wavy hair. Her hair goes down to her waist. She wears a size 7 shoe. You know what I mean? So I sit there and I put that imagination in people's mind. They've never seen her, but because of my description of her, now they've seen her. And they'll argue about it. No, she was 5'8", man. His girl is 5'8", man. She's 5'8". She weighs 120 pounds. She got a little 24-inch waist, 38 hips, 38 up top. Even features and stuff like that. Little small chin on her. She has the wavy curly hair, size 7. And they'll be fighting over they've never seen her. She don't exist. Okay, he said, okay, not traditional school, yeah. Uh, I'm not college graduated. I learned from 5%ers. That's the perceived beauty. Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, I'm gonna tell you something, Snuck. I don't like the 5%ers. I can agree with some of the stuff that they talk about, but a lot of times I can't agree with everything they talk about because they think they made everything come into existence. They think out of the nothingness that they came to be. That's the perceived. The only creator can take something out of nothing. And that sounds like it's a contradiction, but he's the one that can make stuff up because that's why he has that name, create. And so what we got to understand also is that your mind is only capable of understanding and going as far as the mind can go. Is the mind, because they say the mind is limitless. That's bullshit. It's limitless on in this reality to the point to where the limits or the limitlessness of things is things that can't be achieved. Oh no, no, I know you're not saying that you're that, brother. I'm not putting you in that category. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that certain stuff I've learned from them. But the thing is, I tell you what people have taught me. People have taught me to actually just think and just go back and reflect. Just go through all the formulas that you have. And then you start breaking down the formulas that they gave you from the past and you find out that it's bullshit. Everything they give you is bullshit. They just feed us a bunch of bullshit all day long. That's all they feed us. They feed us bullshit all day long, and we just like bite right into it like fish. We're like hungry ass fish going for the bait. Oh, that shit look good. And we go right for it. Yeah, we just dive right into that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that food. We just dive right into it. When we should just think. If you think, then that's what makes us better when we just think about it. We're like, wait a minute, let me think about this shit. Wait, hell, hold on. Hey, wait a minute. 93 million miles. 93. And then on top of that, there's nothing there. But you're telling me that something has to exist in order for something to react with it? But space, it doesn't exist. There's nothing there for anything to react with, but there's something that's reacting with it, but you can't have something that reacts with something that's not there. You can't have anything on this earth that reacts with something that's not there. Or if it's something that's not there, if something's taken away, that's the only way it reacts. But it won't react anymore. That's the difference. It's like if I say, like if you take a can and you pull everything out of it, it's not gonna react anymore. It was reacting because of the circumstances of its reality. Its reality is that it was made in this atmosphere a certain shape, and once you took away the atmosphere from it, now it has another shape. It's not going to go back to the shape it was. Rarely do things go back to the shape that they are once you take their reality away. Like you take an atmosphere away from certain stuff, it's not usually it won't go back to its own shape without being damaged. Because from taking its atmosphere away, you damaged it. Just like our atmosphere. If our atmosphere was taken away from us, we would all be damaged. All of us. Everything on this earth would be damaged if we took away the atmosphere. So we are under a certain pressure because of atmosphere. And that's because we are in here. We are in some kind of an atmosphere. A lot of people call it dome and all that. I don't know exactly what it is. It is whatever creator said it was. Well, we're definitely underneath a pot. We're underneath some kind of a lid, like a cover. Just like you cover like a terrarium. We're under some kind of condition to where that something has to be there. Because if something's not there, we definitely wouldn't exist. We damn sure can't exist in a void of space or a vacuum. Because if a vacuum hit us, we're all going to splatter. We're all going to just be ink spots here on this earth. Yeah, that's all that is to it. But anyway, Snuck, I appreciate you, man. If you wasn't here, I'll look like a complete idiot, man. But I appreciate you coming through, man, because I would look like a complete idiot if I didn't have people like you that actually use their brain cells and get out of this whole matrix of listening to this bullshit man or these people that tell us this science and bullshit. I just try to keep my mouth shut when I go to science You know, if I take up a science class, I'm just gonna try to be quiet if I can. If they say too much, I'm gonna wait a minute, hold on. I actually took over a class one time because his teacher didn't know how to explain how to do the class. He wasn't explaining it right to where people can understand. Yeah, everybody was always complaining after the class, saying, "Man, I can't understand nothing he says." And so one of our things, uh, one of our uh, one of our assignments was to take something from the class and explain it. You know, like this takes a take an application from the class and explain it to the whole class. And so I did what I did is I took and I explained like one of his subjects instead. So I explained one of his subjects that he was going through, and everybody that was in the class. They was like, yeah, I understand now. Now I understand it better when when you tell it. I didn't want them to say that. They could have just kept that to themselves because I didn't want to step on his toes. But they were all happy that I explained the class. I was cracking up. I was like, wow. I said, people, no filter. But they grown. They grown folks. So grown folks, if you got a bunch of grown folks in the class, they gonna tell the truth. He said, yo, everybody gave up. I learned from you and love it. You understand the lid? Yep. Yeah, I understand, man. Yeah, yeah. I don't always agree with everything. You said Snuck kind of sneaky smart. No, I'm not. I don't worry about. I'm not smart at all, though, Snuck. That's the difference between me and you. And see, the thing is, I'm still unlearned and I'm still learning. The knowledge that I do, if I have any knowledge, it comes from Creator. If I have the knowledge, like the things I talk about here, is just more or less. It's just more discussions. I'm trying to discuss to find out why people have certain understandings of stuff that they shouldn't have an understanding of, that don't make sense. If you have an understanding of some shit that don't make sense, then why do you have the understanding of it? Because you're not, and you are understanding it because you are standing underneath it. If it's nothing to be, if there's no truth to it, then you are standing under it. And we are, all of us are standing underneath all the bullshit that they give us, because they give us a whole lot of bullshit and we stand underneath it. Our eyes get big. That's what I'm saying. It's good to have friends from all over so they can teach you stuff. Just like I was teaching about those girls over in Kenya they're getting killed over there. They're not gonna tell us stuff like that's sad, man. For who's barbaric enough to cut out these girls' reproductive parts of their body? Who's doing that to? Who's mutilating these girls like that? And they're not doing nothing about it. But they supposed to be civilized, but they're not doing nothing about it. That's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. Yeah. But I'll be the first one. Eagle will be the first one. Even in my life, I tell people I don't know shit. Even when it comes to this boxing, I tell people I don't know nothing. I'm learning from y'all. I don't know shit. But then I'll cut back in. I say, but I know I don't know nothing, but I have an idea about a few things. I just tell people so that way somebody tell me I don't know shit about boxing. No, I don't know shit about boxing, but I have a few ideas. You know what I mean? No, I think it's another tribe over there. I think it's somebody said I think my friend told me it was the Nigerians over there, but that's you can't tell me how civilized they are. I mean, they learn all. I'm not even gonna. You know what? For me, it has to be embedded in you. So I'm not gonna just blame one. I'm not gonna blame one culture of people, even if there's some cultures of people that are more evil and will do evil shit and will constantly do evil shit. You didn't learn from them to do evil shit. That's because that has to come from your spirit. If you're not defending yourself and you just do evil, you just evil. As simple as that. I mean, maybe you're part of that bloodline, so maybe it's true. Maybe it is the bloodline, but it's more the spirit than it is the bloodline. Because after a while, you just learn if you beating the shit out of somebody, like if you discipline one of your kids or something like that, and you beating the hell out of them because you're frustrated with life and you just don't understand your own self. Some people might even go commit suicide after they beat their children. Some of them will just hug their children and cry. And some just don't give a shit. If you don't give a shit, that means you just don't have no spirit. Your heart, your shit is rotten. You're rotten from the inside out. And that is something. That ain't something from nothing. You are just rotten. Simple as that. Oh, tell them about you. Oh, you're European, or you're from Europe. No, I told people before you even got here today. I was telling Derek was the first one in. I don't know, but Derek, I was telling Derek about you. I said I'm gonna have to. I said I'm gonna have to have another. I'm gonna mess y'all up though. We're gonna do a boxing trivia. We might do it Wednesday. We're gonna do a boxing trivia. I'm gonna kill y'all. Y'all gonna be like, oh, y'all gonna be so mad at Eagle. Oh, Eagle. Y'all gonna be mad at Eagle and stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, man, what you mean. You don't know about boxing. No, I'm just. That's my language. When I say I don't know about boxing, I don't know about stuff. You'll say that I know quite a bit and stuff like that, but I just tell that's what my verbiage is. I tell people I don't know shit. I just tell people I don't know nothing about nothing. But at least I can admit it. Some people would never be able to admit that they don't know nothing about nothing. I'm still learning, and I don't even know what I'm learning, brother. Because what a lot of times the shit I'm learning is I'm learning off of stuff that was not true in the first place. No, that shit ain't true either. I get tired of trying to learn something that ain't true. There's all X's and O's. And then you find out that the computer board looks like the ancient Earth. If you put all the pyramids together and all the buildings and stuff, that these are buildings and stuff, some of these old buildings that they lied to us and they lied to the whole world that they created all these buildings. These buildings are basically electronic components. Used to be able to conduct electricity all across the world because of these buildings. These buildings would conduct electricity with the copper and the mercury and the crystals and the zinc or whatever other elements they have. It used to conduct electricity, and they took over all these buildings, and they act like these buildings are now Capitol buildings and churches and shit, like they built them shits, and they have no idea how they was built, and they don't even know how to rebuild them. And you wonder why a church or something is made out of a certain kind of brick, but there's no other buildings nowhere to be found is made out of that same kind of brick. So you mean you stopped making good bricks and now you're making this bullshit brick? Man, stop that shit. Everything that they say, everything is cap. He said, no, I'm from Jersey. I'm mixed black. Okay. That's why we get along, man. My people from Jersey. I'm Iroquois and Cheyenne and Chickasaw. Chickasaw, Cheyenne, and Iroquois. That's me. Yep. So we originate out of Jersey area, Jersey, New York, and then Midwest. That's our triangle. We have a real small triangle. No, war didn't destroy all the buildings either, brother. What they did is they had a bunch of world fairs, and they pretended like they put up the buildings, and they tore down the majority of the buildings except for the ones that they could use. They tore down the buildings everywhere: Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, L.A., Chicago, probably Detroit, Philadelphia, New York City, places in Florida, Texas, all over. All our states had these buildings that conduct electricity and everything else. We had free electricity, but now they pulling oil out the ground and stuff and pretending. And if you were old enough, you remember that they call it fossil fuel. They lied on the dinosaurs that don't exist. They said all the dinosaurs died and they left and they turned into oil and shit. And we still pumping oil. And we still pumping dinosaurs. And that was just a ploy. They just wanted to make it seem like that the oil was a natural occurring thing. It was organic. And so it is organic, but they wanted to make it seem like it was organic from animals and plants, plankton and shit like that, so they could just constantly keep drilling it. Okay, I know our life is this life. They're gonna take my life down. I don't care. Anyway, they're gonna take it down because I'm telling too much. I'm still surprised how much knowledge you have. Yeah, but these bastards, man, they just do everything. You get knowledge, bro. Just watch news and you'll get knowledge just from them lying. And I'm telling you, man, you get knowledge from them. From them telling a lie to you, you're going to get knowledge. Because they're going to lie. They're going to definitely lie. And once they lie, you're going to get knowledge. You're going to have the knowledge of their lie. Like, you lying. You a lying ass. This whole thing with that white flag with the blue on it. Those people over there. Those people were placed over there in 1948. They don't even belong there. They don't even belong there, but they're acting like it's a state. It's their state. When they say state in the first place, when they say state, what they're telling you is a mindset. Anywhere you live, when they say state, it's just a mindset. They're telling you, your state. So whatever your state is, and your mindset in that state, that's what you're going to think about that state. If you have California in your mind, if that's a state, your state of mind is California, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. If you had a state of mind that's New Jersey, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Anything, they always put states. They're play on words. They're magicians with their play on the English language. So that's why it's good to speak other languages. I want to teach. I'm developing the language. I don't know if it's a new language or if it's an old language. But I already have the alphabet and all that. I have the alphabet. I would rather enjoy building this language with people rather than building this language by myself. I would rather build it with people, the language and also the symbolism for the language. I would rather build it with people because they could learn. I was teaching my little boy at one point until that shit went the wrong way. But anyway, let's let me get out of here, man. I'm probably holding up a little bit too late. But I actually love grown folks chat more than I like boxing chat, but but these guys, they don't they get frustrated with ego. They gotta get out. Man, I gotta get out, man. Yeah. Yeah. He says it's destroying the earth. He said taking the natural lubricant oil out of the earth. The oil. See, but earth. See, the thing is, you can't. Anything that you take from the earth is replenishable. But it's replenishable in a time. There's a time frame for everything. I don't know how the earth generates oil the way that it does. See, and we're only existing on this earth. See, I don't even want to get inside. So it's good that you're just here. No, I'm not anti anybody, but no. See, the thing is I cannot discuss a lot of things. This earth. See, the thing is, I know a lot more things than I can actually teach. I can't teach everything that I know. It's not time for it yet. But the earth used to have a different consistency than what it has today. And I would say that as far as earth is concerned, the layers of earth, they call earth mother for a reason. Because earth used to be a mother. She used to be a mom. This earth was a mom. This earth was a mom. And I can't tell you exactly, but the layers on this earth used to be a lot different. Like this earth has a certain flesh now. The flesh on this earth used to be a lot different. Because woman could never have had perfect. A woman could never have had perfect children. But the earth could. Woman couldn't have had because her mind was manipulated. So she could never have had perfect children. When your mind's manipulated, just like we're in this state now, if our mom's mind wasn't manipulated, we would be in a perfect state, but we're not. We're trying to get to a perfect state. So only earth, since it was made perfect, it was the only thing that could have birthed us the first time around. Anyway, that might have been too much information right there. Sometimes I give out too much information. Yeah. Yeah, but oil, believe me, oil can be replaced. The Creator wouldn't make something that couldn't replenish itself. Even the pollution can be taken care of. But if the pollution is taken care of, we'll probably all have to perish. For the earth to repair itself from, even for the earth to repair itself from all the pollution, we would all have to die. Simple as that. You all have to die. It can't do it any other way because it moves too slow. It would have to speed up. It would have to open up. All the poisons would have to go down and be totally like incinerated in a part of the earth that's hot enough to incinerate it, and then the earth would have to close back up. But if the earth did that, then we're going with it. We're going with all the trash. All this shit we done created, everything we got is going down in that little ditch and being burnt up. That's the only way it can do it. That's the only way, well, from my understanding, that's all I can see. I can't see it. It can't disinfect itself. Because if the earth can disinfect itself, there's another thing. We still be taken out. Because you got waters too. You got the waters. So the waters will have to be dried up. They would have to be parted or moved around and dried up because all the plastic and all the chemicals and stuff that's out in the water. Yes, man gets his ass out there and tries his best to get some of it out. Probably still only get, even if he got out 5% of it, it would help. But he needs to get all this shit out. Shouldn't have never allowed it. Because the native people would never destroy it. The real people, like the indigenous people, not necessarily native people, but the indigenous people would never destroy their earth. We've been taught to destroy the earth. Oh, just throw the cup out the window. Oh, just do this. Oh, just do that. Oh, just shit in the water. We've always had aquifers and stuff like that ran properly. And we could stack ourselves on top of each other and still maintain our hygiene. But they destroyed all that and decided to do it themselves. But they pump our waste back out into the oceans and stuff like that. Like New York, all that shit. It has this. New York is the stinkiest, dirtiest place in the United States for our cities. Nasty. They got everybody thinking they love it so much. They got them all stacked up in these buildings. It's just a prison. It's just a giant prison. Some parts of the prison looks better than other parts. They just got everybody stacked up in these little boxes. And wonder why people go crazy. But you don't want to move out of that because, the glamour, the nightlife and all that. What does that mean for you in your life, period? You're going to outgrow going out and all that and ducking people shooting and all that. You're going to outgrow that one day. And why is that state like that? And I'm not picking on New York or nothing like that. I'm just saying the state. When I say state, I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about the state, the mindset. Why is the mindset like that? Why is somebody soft? Because they don't want to be like that. Now all of a sudden you soft. Oh, you just soft, man. Because your purpose, your mom and your parents didn't have you for that to just be your lifestyle. That's it. They didn't have you for you to have a 22-year life cycle here. That's not, why would they? That was a waste of, why is a waste of energy to raise you just for you to be here 22 years. This is a lot. It's so much to discuss, and there's so much that is disgusting and everything else. You just gotta realize it. People think that I talk like, well, there's no hope. There's always hope. The hope is that I help you change and you help me change, and we just start changing. Oh, nobody's gonna listen. Well, one person listens. Guess what? If I got one person to listen, can they get one person to listen? Yes. That's how it's done. And eventually we'll all just meet up. Oh, if we just stop talking and just doing. I don't care if I only have enough land or enough space where I can grow one plant. At least I got something to share with people. They're sharing from my one plant. Now they have enough where they can share 2 plants. Somebody else can share 4 plants. Somebody else can share half an acre of plants. Somebody can share an acre. Somebody can share 30 acres. That's how it starts. That's how we start. We got to clean our state within. Then we clean up the state around us, and then we start cleaning. We start cleaning from inside out. That's physically and spiritually the same way. You got to clean from inside out. You got to get your spirit has to be clean from the inside. Everything has to go out. because there's something to react with. It's not like space where it's nothing to react with. Like, you can't do nothing here. There's nothing there. Yeah. He said, you're right. He said, I agree. He said, I agree. Women are our biggest problem because of our balance. Well, they shouldn't be the problem, because you're always supposed to have, you're supposed to be able to go. You're supposed to be able to go back to mother. Mother does not exist. Woman and mother is different. See, the earth never had a womb, so the earth could never be woman. The earth is mother. Mother's different. Just like if you have a mom or you have a mother is way different than a woman. A mother. Because you always call on mother. Mother is she's the feeder, the breast, the mama. The Latin mama means the breast, the mama. She's the breast. She's that source of life. She's the one you feed off of. You know, the real mother. But they have changed the whole definition. We switched it over to womb. Now they switched it over to woman. Now anybody can be a woman. Anybody can be a woman, but you can't be mother. Okay. Well, you said you gonna say one thing before you go. Hurry up and say it, man. Anyway, man, I appreciate y'all coming in. Eagle's been on for a while. My shout out to all the real people that I see. Y'all know it is Monday. And my shout out to all y'all that mess with me. Snuck U's in the house, giving me his final thoughts. But anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all, man. Hopefully, she said, "Amen." Now you goddamn amen. Women want to be man. That's why you can't be man and mother. Mother's different, because mother is the nurturer, and mother and mama they got to have something to nurture you with. Even a woman can feed you if you starving to death, you dying. A woman can still feed you. You still got to go back to mama. You know, so mother is very important. I'm gonna tell you, the order of man and woman is very confusing. Because some people brag on matriarch societies, and some people brag on patriarch. But it was never about mother and father like that. It was always about who put mother and father in place. That's what it was about. But we still have to have an order. Now, common sense should tell a woman, I'm not as physically able to do certain stuff, so that man has to be physically in charge. Maybe she could be mentally in charge, but I doubt if she could be mentally in charge now, because the state of mind, the state. Remember I told you this whole thing about the state. The state of mind is completely different with women. Their state is different. If their state was not different, then yes. But their state is completely different. Yeah. Anyway. I'm going to catch y'all, man. Be good out there. I'll be out of here. Hopefully they don't take this one down, man. Well, they can take it down. I talked to who I had to talk to. Shit. So if y'all want to take it down, y'all take it down. Y'all take Eagle down. Shit. Yeah. I appreciate you, Snuck. He said you are that guy, and I'm glad we can build. Yeah, that's all I'm here to do is build, man. We have fun. I mess with Gil and them all the time. Gil's like my little brother. I love Gil, man. That's my little brother right there. I mess with Gil a lot though, but sometimes he's an irritant. He's like my little irritant. He's an irritant, but I will still trust him over I trust a lot of other people. I would still trust him. He's the first one that came to me and told me when somebody was like backstabbing me. He's the one that came and told me. Now, as far as all the little science stuff, he just don't get it. Bless his heart, he don't get it. But I think some of it has to resonate with him. He has to like understand. Yeah, he got to understand. Well, Eagle knows something's going on. Anyway, we'll talk more next time, man. I don't know if I don't have nothing big to talk about boxing. We talking grown folks chat again. We'll keep on talking grown folks chat until we just can't talk grown folks chat again. Until later though, I'm gonna catch y'all.